Yes, Emma McQueen. We are pretty casual over here in the revitalized womanhood space. We're usually moms and we're usually doing 5 billion things all at the same time. I mean,
Yep.
we're women, so we're doing that anyway. It doesn't matter if you're a
Anyway.
mom or not. You're doing
Hmm.
5 billion things at once. So we try to keep it pretty casual over here. And I'm so thankful and excited to chat with you. We've just been talking behind the scenes a little bit and I says, "We got to get going, Emma. Let's just get this recording so that my fabulous listeners can be part of this fun conversation with us." You are
So
coming in all the way from beautiful Melbourne, Australia, which I was just there and I miss dearly.
good.
I miss it. I miss it. Thank you so much for joining me, making the commitment to join me.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm excited to be here. I mean, it's very early, but I'm excited to be here.
You're already brushed off and ready to go. And then I let her know, oh, and we're going to do some rapid fire. So I hope that coffee was really strong this morning. That is something that I just, you have my heart, you Australians. Your coffee orders you take so seriously. And I love it so much. It's not even that it's necessarily a fancy thing. It's just we do it and we do
Yes,
it well.
especially in Melbourne. I think Melbourne is probably coffee capital of Australia. I
Melbourne
am
has just
originally
good
from across
everything.
the country in Western Australia. And
Perth?
yes, Perth, yeah. And coffee, they don't care that much, but Melbourne, we really care.
They do love it.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. Every stay we go to, I'm just like, I'm so excited because everybody has such a great coffee setup, right?
Yes.
Nescafe, whatever. Sometimes you get the really, really fancy espresso machines, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But even
Yes.
your instant coffee is good. That's
Really?
what is so amazing. Yes, I know it's not what we want, but it's even better than some of the swivel you have around the world. So anyway,
Wow.
that's just something. This trip to Australia, we actually really focused on Victoria. We did a
Okay.
lot of Victoria. We because normally we do like all the way up the coast and then all the way back down around. So like Whitsundays and Cairns and then
Oh my
all the way back
goodness.
around to Adelaide and then Perth.
Okay.
And the one place that we've missed is Darwin. And my husband really wants to do the Red Centre. He wants to do that.
Yeah, I get that.
And back when we were first coming back in like 2017, when we first started, it wasn't as easily accessible to do that. So we were a little
Yes.
nervous with young children. But
Yes.
now we've talked to people and they're like, oh, it's paved. Just go
It's
for it. It's
paved.
all paved. Yeah,
Yes.
it's paved. Hey, that's a big statement with some of these roads. I
It's
remember
true.
going to Raglan and all of a sudden our GPS were like off this dirt road and we're like, bumping along and we saw our first goanna. We chased around up the trees and we're like, okay, this is really fun, but we got to find a main road soon. And legitimately, I'm pretty sure this was the main highway. And then we popped back onto something and then we were in Raglan. And I'm like, that was weird.
Sounds very Australian.
Yeah.
Sounds really, and a goanna. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
a goanna.
a goanna. Yeah, goanna. Goanna. Joanna the goanna. And my
Joanna the
husband was
goanna.
really funny because he's 6'5" and he says, I got to be careful because if you're the tallest thing, they'll climb you.
Yeah. That's cute as. I'm very
Well-
short as well, so you know.
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
that. Short girl
Don't have to
syndrome.
worry about it then.
No.
Well, thank you again for joining us. And I would love to start with you just kind of telling my audience a little bit about you.
Yes. Oh, where to start? Oh my goodness,
I
so
know.
much to tell. I am a mama. My favorite job. I have 2 bonus kids and one with my husband. So my husband, I came into a ready-made family. It was like just add water, but just add Emma.
Yeah.
And the girls were, I don't know, 7 and 8. And then we had little Evie. So our other older girls have moved out. They are 24 and 26. And Evie is 12. And she finished over here she's in first year of high school.
Yep.
So I think you guys have middle school and then senior school.
We do. It's
yeah.
super weird here because even in Utah, just Utah where I grew up,
Yeah.
it was like K through 6th and then 7th through 9th and then 10th through 12th. Well, that's
Okay.
different. Down here in the South, it's like K through 5th and then 6th and 7th is their own thing and then 8th and 9th is their own thing and then it's so
Okay.
confusing.
Okay. Well,
So
she's 7th. So that's the
Yes.
start of high school here in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go 7 to 12
Cool.
over here. So that's that. What else? I love a cup of tea. Oh my goodness. I love my
With milk
coffee.
or without?
Oh, both, because I drink a lot. I probably have more than I care to admit in a day. I probably have 6 or 7 cups of herbal tea a day. I like trying all the things. I also have my own
Yeah.
podcast called Tea with the Queen, so I kind of get away with it. And everyone
Yeah.
knows that I love my tea, so I get lots of gifts of tea, which is amazing.
That's so amazing.
What else? I have been married to my husband. We've been together for 16 years. And I just knew he was the one the day I met him. I had a full marriage strategy for that man, so he was going nowhere. And I do 20,000 steps a day because I like to keep fit. And I also have a daily nap. That's my random quirky thing that I do.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually amazing because that's so quite opposite of most women in America. Would you say that's opposite of women in Australia as well?
Yes, I would. I
Mhm.
would. I would.
They
It actually
push through
started.
the whole rest
Yeah,
'cause
no, it actually
equals
started.
not
Yeah.
worthy.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so worthy.
You
I'm
are
so
so
worthy,
worthy
worth
of that
more naps.
nap.
Yeah, totally, totally. I had a glandular fever for a little while, a couple of years ago, and I had to include my nap into my routine. And then when glandular fever left me, I'm like, I quite like this nap. And because I work for myself and I work at home mainly, I was able to put a nap in. So yeah, I nap every day, which is just divine. It's got
I
rules
think
around
it's
it though, Gina.
beautiful.
Like, a few
Yeah.
little rules. Don't want to nap for too long. Got to
I
be
think it's
still,
beautiful.
Yeah.
My best friend in Minnesota, we're funny because we're very similar. And if you see pictures of us, she's basically my doppelganger. It's weird. It's super weird. We met through our husbands, and our husbands met first. And then my husband met her first, and he was like, this is weird. And then he came
Oh,
home and he's like, I met your doppelganger. And then we became instant best friends, and we've been best friends since. But so and not that this has anything, but I hope this has everything to do with it. But they have a 18-year-old. He just graduated, special needs. He's nonverbal and disabled son. And so takes care of him wholly and amazingly well. And so
wow.
she deserves that nap. She deserves that nap.
She
But she
deserves
takes
that
a
nap.
nap every day. And it's funny because I don't, and not for any reason other than I'd probably just lay there and be like,
There are some days that happens. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And so for her to have it, I just think that's so fun and funny and amazing. And I think to myself, I bet you $1 million, I bet anyone $1 bazillion that if more women would take naps in the day and give themselves that moment of revitalization, even, right?
Yeah.
Respite and revitalization, that we would have no autoimmune disorder. I'm going to say no autoimmune disorder. I think we would have
do you
severely
reckon?
less. I do, because I believe it
Interesting.
goes to the fact that we burn ourselves out every day.
Yes.
And we're
Every
running
day.
from a bear every single day.
Yes.
Whether we think we are or not, we're running from a bear every single day.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do so beautifully well for the women over there in your hemisphere?
Yes. Well, I am a business coach. So I work with women who mainly have service-based businesses. I've got this really deep seated need to help women make money, not for the reasons that people think, but I think that more money in the hands of more women means more money in the hands of the community. I also know that our domestic violence numbers are rising. So I don't know what the stats are over there, but over here the stats are 25%. So a quarter of the room is suffering some kind of domestic violence. And if they have money, they have choice. And my background, I came from a background where my parents split and my mum got stuck, and we didn't have very much money. And I never want to feel like that, and I never want women to feel like that. And so I decided to go out on my own almost 10 years ago. I have a HR background, so I'm an ex-HR director, and I also coached women and the execs at that organization. And I'm like, actually, I can make have more impact if I'm working with women who have their own business. So we know they've got a bit of go-getter in them, and also help them make enough money so they've got a what I call buffer or profit, or otherwise known as running away from home money,
Right.
so that they can make choices.
You know what's interesting about that is I know, and I'm not saying this because I thought my husband's grandma, I don't think she ever was trying to run away. You know, I don't think that that was ever in her mind. I don't know. Maybe it could have been. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she did have a father that was an alcoholic. And so in her mind, so she would hide money in places. So as
Right.
her husband would give her money, she would write the check over or something for groceries and take that money and hide it and hide it and hide it. And she'd have all these little hidey holes. And we used to all laugh and joke that if you needed some cash, just go get under her mattress. You'd find
Yeah.
some money. But I swear, I never asked my mother-in-law when she finally passed away if when they were cleaning out the closet, how much cash they actually found.
Yeah, right.
But it is a lot
Similar.
of women are instilled in this, and like you say, not even necessarily because of domestic violence in their own life, but because it was brought into their lives earlier or from
Yeah.
some situation.
Generationally. Yeah.
Yeah, generationally. And I
Yeah.
think that's incredible. But honestly, just for any purpose of a woman being able to make her own financial mark is
Yes.
so empowering, isn't
So
it? It is
empowering.
so
Yes.
empowering. And
Yeah.
it's that purpose that we're talking about when we say that women won't take naps because naps equal, oh, I'm not worth it, or I'm not
Yeah.
worthy if I'm not getting this to-do list done. And if I don't get this to-do list done, if I take a nap, I can't get this to-do list done. And my value's tied up in that.
Yes. Yes.
But it does. Okay, we're taking a right turn here. We take right
Okay.
turns
I
all the
love it.
time. I'm
I'll
sorry.
come
And
with you.
sometimes left turns go off the right turns. But my husband and I were actually talking about this in the car yesterday. We were driving home from camping this weekend, and we're very open about things. We've gotten to the point in our marriage where we can communicate well, sometimes not so well, but we do pretty well nowadays. We've been 20 years now.
Yeah, right.
But for whatever reason, and probably from his family of origin, he thinks that he does put a lot of value in financial equality, I guess I could say. Like back when I was working, I was his equal because I was contributing financial. Well, even though now we have 4 kids and I'm doing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the
Mm-hmm.
things.
All the things.
I'm not, he doesn't see me as an equal contributor, which bless his heart, he loves me.
Yes.
I don't feel this anyway, but this is a thing where things have come up in the heat of fights or in the heat of things where it does come right back up,
Yeah.
where because I'm not contributing as much, like,
Oh, oh,
okay,
oh. In a different
give
way.
me a
Yep.
right, in a
Yeah.
different way. But,
Yeah.
so we did bring it up again yesterday in a loving conversation in a, hey, just so you know, the reason I do try so hard is because there is a sub layer to my brain that
Yeah.
says, I'm not worthy of you because I'm not contributing financially to this family. And he says, well,
Wow.
I don't want you to feel that way. I don't feel that way. And I said, but you do.
Sometimes you might.
You do. Sometimes you say it.
Bless.
And so exactly, bless their little hearts. But
Yeah.
I know that it comes from, work that he needs to do on himself.
Yes.
I don't,
Yeah.
it used to be that it is on me, but now, of course, I know it's just work you
I
need to do
know.
on
It's
you.
still,
It's
it
not
makes me
me.
so mad still, Gina, that women are
does.
still doing the bulk of all the things. Even if they're working, I've had for 12 years Mark's name as my husband as the first contact for Evie from kindergarten all the way through to primary school. Who do you reckon they call first?
Not him.
Not him. No.
No.
Always
No.
Mama Bear. And
There was
I pick that phone up and I watch it and I think, no, they haven't even tried him yet. So I put the phone down and wait.
I just want to see something. Prove me wrong, please. Prove me wrong. There was actually a reel. My husband just said 2 days ago that a school calls the husband and he says, hello? And they say, you need to come get your daughter. And he says, who is this? And, whatever, it's this skit. And he says, why didn't you call my wife? And they said, well, we did. She didn't answer. And he says, okay, all right. Can I get your address? Like, basically, it was like that he was so distant from the whole thing. It was really funny, but that's what we were talking about that as well.
I need that reel. I need that reel. That's hilarious.
Yeah, if I can find it, I'll send it your way. But
yeah.
So, all right, what have you found in your experience of this is? Well, that's not where I want to go with that. Just kidding. What?
Just kidding. Left turn.
Just kidding.
Back.
No, yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
So this new season of my podcast, I'm going on 4 years now with this beautiful women's community in my podcast. I know I'm very excited about it. And so when I came back from this last trip we did was we leave for blurps at a time, but this last one was like a full year. It was a full year.
Wow.
It was supposed to be till August, so a full year and a half, but whatever, my son wanted to come home early. But so this full year, and this time I actually was like, no podcasting. I did nothing.
Whoa.
I did nothing. I had someone step up in my coaching with my community, and I was able to be just so present, and it was so beautiful. So, long way around.
Amazing.
Welcome to season 2. You are a guest in season 2 of the Revitalize Womanhood podcast, Live Like Her Now. So that is the basis of every conversation. And what was it in your, from working for someone to working for yourself in this big, bold, empowering step that was your big live like her now? What have been your most favorite live like her now moments?
That's a good question. Live like her now. I think there's probably a few punctuations. I mean, I've always been the kid who was naughty, liked to pick things apart. I wanted to be a mechanic when I was a kid. And I used to sell ice lollies, maybe they're called over there.
Popsicles.
Anyway, popsicles on my driveway when I was 11. So I always had that entrepreneurial kind of, itch. And I think when I went into a safe job, and at about 40, so if we talk full womanhood, I went into perimenopause as we were trying to give Evie a sibling, and I was 37.
Oh, wow. Early.
Yeah, very early. Something changes in you, though, when that happens. I mean, I care less about being liked. So I don't have that thing that women have about I need to be liked. I'm like, I am who I am, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so then I went, actually, I really want to start my own business, and it's probably punctuated by that. I wish I'd done it a bit earlier, but I also feel the timing was exactly right. That feeling where you're like, should have started, but no, actually the timing was right. And I think the timing was right because being a coach, I don't know what it's like over there, but being a coach, there's a lot of coaches over here, and I have a lot of experience, a lot of qualifications, a lot of skill behind me. And I also love pink, as you can see. And so sometimes you come up against all those stereotypes, and I just lent into that. If you have a look at my website, oh my goodness, it's all pink and navy. If you have a look at my LinkedIn, it's all pink. If you have a look at my Instagram, it's all pink. I just really like pink. But Gina, I got comments when I left on LinkedIn that I would not be taken seriously because I wear pink. I'm just like,
oh, they would love you over here.
Oh,
that's like stupid. A statement.
Is it? Ooh.
Oh my gosh. There's this, my one of my colleagues, Renee Warren, she's amazing. She was actually just over in Australia as well with her husband. Her husband's a coach for AI and things. But she has her event that she throws is called the Pink Skirt.
Oh, I love that.
So, pink is fire over here. But yes, Australia is very more sophisticated looking, like more tans and muted and
yeah.
I get that. I get that.
I also had, I mean, it was a lot of comments from males, pales.
Oh, well.
A little bit stale, so I didn't care so much. So, and finding my husband was probably one of the things that really told me that I was really a go-getter because I went on 2 dating TV shows to find
Oh,
him.
wow.
I know, I didn't find him there. And, I went on like, I challenged myself to go on a lot of dates. I think I went on, like, 31 dates over 6 weeks. Also didn't find him there.
Wow.
I know, and then I doubled down and found him at a stinky boxing gym. And, so I think I have just been one of those women that just lives now, that does actually do that, that goes, "You know what? I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain." And
Yeah.
before I found my husband, I thought, maybe I'm not going to get married. What would I do if I didn't ever get married? So I went and bought 2 dogs because I thought, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for someone. So I bought 2 dogs. A week later, I met my husband. So I just, you know,
Yep.
if you give yourself permission to live now, it kind of works out.
Do you know, I love that story so much for one very, very specific reason. And it's one of my dear, dear, dear friends who's been in this community with me for since I started it. And I am going to send this right to her and let her hear your story because it's kind of what I've been reiterating to her is you need to go have some adventures. You need to
Yes.
go and you need to experience who you are without the noise and the routine and the stability of what your life is right now. That
Yeah.
is
And society's
100% what you need to
expectations
do.
too, right?
Yes, and all these expectations that you
Yeah.
think you're supposed to be doing
Should.
and
Mm,
yes, exactly.
yeah.
Like what if I like that you thought that. Like what if I don't even get married? Well,
Yeah.
what does my life look like?
Yeah.
Okay, let's think about it in that way. And I really think that if more women could shift that, could shift their focus into more of date myself. I did this beautiful
Yes.
podcast with oh my gosh, of course. Oh, it's right here. What's her name? Carla Olson. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, here it
I
is.
love that.
And her book is The Almost Empty Nester. And it was so beautiful to bring it into my community because even though we have women ranging in all seasons,
Yeah.
20 clear up to 78 at the time, it was important because her message throughout is get to know yourself.
Yes.
Because
There's a lot of self-work that
what's
you
on
have
the
to
other
do.
side of the honeymoon stage? What's on the other
Yeah.
side of dealing with brand new babies and toddlers?
Yes.
And what's on the other side of busy teenager schedules? And what's on the other, right? But
Yeah.
who's constant through all of that? It's
That's
you
right.
and your relationship with yourself. And I think more women would benefit if they could
Yeah.
really embrace that, like what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So what do you think with all these ambitious women you work with? I love that you say, yeah, they are go-getters because they are trying to start a business or they've already got these businesses.
Yeah.
And listeners, before we started, I was actually sending a message to a business in Melbourne that anybody who follows me on Instagram saw me oohing and awing over this baklava. And I said, I want to offer if you're willing to, I'm happily offer a discount code or something for you to get you some more business. And so you deal with these women whose biggest mindset pattern, I'm sorry, these ambitious women, but what is the biggest mindset pattern that you see them falling into as a trap?
No. It's interesting. Which one do I choose?
Oh dear. Oh no. Gosh, we're down to a top 5 category here. No, but
Well,
I
I
mean
wrote,
one that's heaviest on
yeah,
your heart, I guess.
I wrote
Excuse
a
me.
I wrote a book which is called Go Getter, which is the 12 myths that women tell ourselves, and then the 12 truths that balance that out. But what do I think? Probably it's a mix between having that imposter syndrome. I think it's connected.
Mm,
Imposter syndrome and worth. I'm worth running my business. I'm worth charging what I charge. I'm worth investing in myself. Like that kind of, and once they kind of work through the worth issue, they're like, okay, now I've got this imposter syndrome. How do I
yeah,
do this? And like it's never ending. It's never ending.
it
And
is.
so it's a constant, almost constant coaching yourself because even really well-skilled individuals can have a situation that makes them question their own worth and question all the things that they think are true. And I think they have to work. You have to work really hard. You have to be some kind of boss to be able to go pick yourself up every day and keep going, even if you're the world's most successful. Right? There's so much mindset that you need to make sure you can get right in order to bounce through business. Because I think that's what we
Yeah.
do. We bounce through business. It can have ebbs and flows. And if we can bounce and we can reset and we can like shake it off and work through your energy and all the things, then I think you do a little bit better than someone who gets stuck in some of the minutia that is business, you know?
It's true. It is
Mm.
really true. So it's so interesting to me that you say that, because why is it that men are more, I guess that's not a fair assessment to say that men are more able. That's not fair, because women are equally able. They're just,
I
I
think they're
think
more
they're just
confident.
battered down with more. Yeah, I think men have been taught to be more confident, that
They've got
they
swagger, right?
they've got the swagger. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they have the right to be doing what they're doing. Like,
I mean,
and
as
I
do we, but
don't.
I get it. I get
Exactly,
it.
but I think women think, "Oh, maybe if he's doing it, I don't have the right to be doing it," or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I when I first started this business, I was very big on, why is there a measuring stick being held for us that was created by a man?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
why is that even a thing? Why would I ever even try to compare myself to a man? Which actually made it really funny when all of this men as women to compete in women's sports came out, because then it was even more obvious. Like, wait a minute. Now
Yeah.
you're wanting me to compete with a man's physiology.
Yeah. It's not the same stick, is
It's
it?
not the same stick.
Yeah.
Nope, it's
Yeah.
not the same stick.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what's something women have been taught about having it all or
Oh,
success
yeah.
that you don't agree with, that you want to debunk that notion?
I don't think social media helps with this, but I think um, I see it a lot. So you can have it all, and I actually think you can have it all, maybe not at the same time,
Not all at once.
not all at once. Yeah,
Excuse me.
because I think sometimes we see it on Instagram. You can work 10 hours and make $1 million. No, you can't. Just stop.
Right.
Just literally stop. You can work this many and you can make $100,000. No, you can't. Not without doing all of the work that goes beforehand. You're just seeing someone's highlight reel. It's really
Right.
unhelpful. I also think that balance is not, I don't know any woman who feels like totally balanced.
Mhm.
I don't even feel balanced. There are
Right.
seasons where things are messy. There are seasons when things are great. There are days when things are messy. There are days when it's more family over business, when it's more friends over business, when it's more business over, like integration is probably what you're looking for at best. I'm just not sure. Yeah, I think we've been sold a whole lot of porcupines, Gina. I think that's what's
Yeah,
happened. Yeah.
we
You
have.
know?
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree with that, and I agree with that. If we could all just remind ourselves that today I can give this much.
Yes.
And if you successfully get, so like, what's the saying? If today I can give 30% and then you then give 30%, you've done 100%.
You've done great. Yeah.
You've done great. So give
Yeah.
yourself the credit for that. And then tomorrow, see what you can give tomorrow. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you that working more is definitely not the answer, just as working less is not. I debunk that you need to slow down all the time or you need to hustle. I debunk both of those, because if I went to me, Gina, back in 2011 when we lost everything after the recession, and
Mhm.
we were hustling. We
Yeah.
were in so much debt and we had to pay back this debt and we
Yeah.
had nothing and we didn't want to have nothing.
Yeah.
If I would have said to 2011 Gina, slow down, just go
Take it
meditate or
easy.
take it easy, I would have
Yeah.
been like, You're out of your mind. No, I
crazy
have a
woman.
10-year plan and I'm going to get it done in 6. And guess what? After that, then I will slow down. Then we'll talk. Right?
Yeah,
But
I love that. I love that. Do you know what? I made my husband sit down on the first day of our honeymoon and do a 5-year plan.
I love on your honeymoon. Well, be a good boy first. I actually adore that because my husband and I were married for about, let's see, 2006 to 2011. So we were married for that amount of time. I
Yeah.
can do math. And but before we lost everything. And honestly, I look at that time when we were married as I was pretty much a supporting character in his life.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is, it's a funny thing to say because I'm a very leading lady personality. All my life I have been. I've been a very
Same.
leading lady.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that behind the scenes I am, right? That doesn't
Yes. Yeah.
necessarily, especially if I have a husband who is a very leading man personality, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I fall into, and so after we lost everything, he did come to me and he says, so, I mean, what do you want to do now? Because pretty much we
Ground
got
zero.
nothing to lose. We're at ground zero. So what he was looking for help. He's like saying, I've led us this way and it bombed, we were up,
Yeah.
up, crash.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what do you want? And honestly, nobody had ever asked me that as a woman,
Wow. Yeah.
other than, what do you want to do for your career? What do you want to major in
Yes.
school? Which is not
Yeah.
necessarily, as a woman, what do I want out of life? I just wanted to be what my mom was, right? I wanted to
Some
be what I
tweaks.
was shown. Little tweaks,
Yes.
but what I
Yeah.
was shown, but
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah.
And so and I was like, and it's so interesting to me that moment of shock of like, what do you mean? Is exactly now, like when I ask the women that come into my community, like, what do you want? What do you want? And same thing, same deer in the
No idea.
headlights,
Yeah.
like,
No
I
one's
want to
ever
be a
asked.
mom and a wife. And I'm like, well, that's a given. That's already going to be a thing. Okay. Now push
What
that
else?
off the table. What
Yeah.
else? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not belittling that. We know that that's my values, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to help stretch you a little bit to think a little bit more
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah. I think I'm we spoke earlier, I'm a little bit of a rule breaker. And so and I also think I watched my mum and I thought, that's not my life.
Yeah.
This breaks now. But I think you've got to have some kind of idea that it's so bad that you don't want to take that on. So generationally, I was
Yeah.
like, no, this is I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm not taking this life. This life is not mine to live. This is your life to live. And I went to therapy for 7 years because I didn't want to bring any crap into my marriage. I didn't want to bring anything that didn't deserve to be there. And I certainly didn't want to impact my children if I was blessed to have them. So back then I had no idea. I just knew
Right.
this stops with me and I probably need to make sure that I've got some therapy to make sure that it doesn't come with me, because sometimes we bring baggage and we don't really even realize that we're bringing it.
Yep.
Or even now I say some things and I'll think to myself, oh my goodness, was that my mum? When you have those moments and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, was that? No, we changed that. So I think there has to be a level of self-awareness there as well, doesn't there? In order
Yep.
for that to work?
Yeah, the thing has to hurt more than the fear of the unknown of the change.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And so you have to know yourself well enough to know that whatever is on the other side of that is better than this.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a business question because I was having an interesting, it was funny. It was supposed to be a ladies' lunch date, ladies lunching, and my kid's babysitter canceled. So it turned into a park play date. I'm like,
Excellent.
hey, I mean, you're welcome to come, but I got to take my kids. So, and she was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the park. And she was asking me, so she's in marketing.
Yeah.
And she has this client And actually, she's having this whole kind of like existential moment in business where I think we all kind of are getting like, I don't want to say sick of or nervous about or anything, because all of the advancements that are coming in business are wonderful. They are wonderful.
Yes.
They really
Yeah.
are. I'm not going to like bag on Instagram or social media or AI or anything, because all of these things are so interesting, but really it's leveling the playing field for all of
Mhm.
us.
Yes.
It's like saying, okay, now we all have these capabilities.
Yes.
What can you do above this? And you know what she and I kept going back to was customer service.
Interesting.
Like, that is a thing that you can be different at. That is not,
Yes.
AI cannot change how you treat your customers. AI cannot change your interactions. AI cannot, do you know? But she says, but here's the problem. Here is me trying to tell my clients, these business owners, listen, I've had this breakthrough. You know, when we have those moments and we sit up in bed and you're like, I'm a genius. Everybody
Yes.
pay attention to what I'm thinking right now. And I'm going to say it, and everybody just get on board because it's genius. I've just
I would
had
love
this
that
breakthrough.
to happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get them to see her vision that people matter more than all of these new bells and whistles, all of these,
Yes.
that these companies are putting all of this money into this little like ding ling 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 over here, where we're all like watching this lure, and
Yeah.
it's like AI and funnels, and I can automate this for you, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And they're
Systems and
putting all
tripwires
of
and
this
all the things.
money
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yet over here,
Yeah.
you're charging your customers more because you need that help.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not giving your employees what they deserve to be
Yeah.
giving a good experience. So, Kate, I don't know if I've made this clear enough for you to follow this thread. Where's the question? Where's the question? What are your thoughts about that, around all of these bells and whistles that have now been implemented and that we're
Yeah.
all like jumping on this? What about coming back to just grounding ourselves in good old-fashioned customer service? How can that help the pendulum swing back in favor of the business?
Yeah. Well, I would say customer service and community. I would basically wrap the word people and human around that and go, let's just get back to the humanness of things.
Yeah.
Because I do think that all the AI and systems and things, they will also help, but nothing beats connection with a human.
100%.
And I don't know. So a great book. I don't know if you have read this, but Unreasonable Hospitality comes to mind when you talk about that.
I'm going to read
Yeah.
it.
It's a bright yellow book. And it's about a guy who just tried to have the best customer service and ran some Michelin star restaurants. I think that was based in New York. Anyway, amazing story. And I really love that about customer service because he goes above and beyond. So there was this story where a couple comes into his restaurant and they're visiting, and he's like, what have you seen? What have you done? What's left? And they're like, the only thing we haven't had is a New York hot dog. And he's like, right. Okay, cool. So he scurries off out the back, sends someone to go to get a hot dog, gets it plated up properly, and then brings it to them. And they're like, wowed, because he's listened, he's been curious. You know, there's the human element, and his customer service is amazing. And I think partly some customer service, I don't know, over here it can be a little bit dead. You know, like it's not actually very hard to be good at it.
You guys don't get tips. We've talked about this. We've actually
but we
talked
get
about
paid
this.
well enough, right? Like,
okay, and that should take it over. Yes, I agree. But yeah, it kind of seems like I'm getting paid no matter what. Why would I go above and beyond? That's kind of the attitude it feels like.
Yes, but what about pride?
Exactly.
What about just doing your job well? What about giving the customer a beautiful experience? And so customer, community, connection, I think there's a human piece that's like missing in all of this. I think we've gone like, let's just automate all the things. And the Emma McQueen PTY Ltd business, we're very humanized. I've got a beautiful community of like 50 women called Thriving Women who are all business owners, and that's high touch. And then we've got VIP coaching, so one-on-one, also high touch. And I have my business manager, who's also my oldest sister. So it's both of us in the business. And she nurtures and cares for our clients. And we set ourselves apart because of the human element. I don't ever think that's going to change for us. But I
Yeah.
wish some other businesses would go, actually, we could do better at customer service. We could do better at the human piece. We could do better at connection. I think about some of the services that I have to have in my business, and I've got a beautiful website designer, so they keep our website ticking along, and our website's quite massive now. I don't think I've had a conversation with her this year. That's almost 5 months where
Yeah.
she hasn't picked up the phone and had a conversation with me. Now, if that was me, I'd be mortified, because it doesn't take much to pick up the phone and go, "Hi, how you doing?" They're doing all the things in the background technically. All the
Mhm.
systems are safe. All the processes are there, but there's no human interaction. And I'm like, you're missing out by not doing those things. And I think we've just forgotten to do that. I think COVID. I think
Right.
Melbourne was the most locked down city. I think
Yeah.
people have forgotten how to have a conversation. I think people get sucked into their phones. I think there's also this anxiety that going outside now in bigger groups, there's stuff that comes with that. But I also think they're the best type of moments when you get outside and you connect with others, or you get inside a community, or you're out and about. And so I think there's a piece missing across the world around customer service, connection, and humanity, really.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
agree. Oh, I
Mm,
agree.
yeah.
100%. My husband and I started a business a couple years ago before we left again that is called M42 Adventures. It was basically him stepping into the coaching world, but not
Okay.
coaching. I should say podcasting world. But
Okay.
what he really, really wants from it
Yeah.
is to get people, because we've traveled the world for the last 9 years, over 88
Yeah.
countries, all 50
Wow.
states. And
Wow.
so for us, it is about the people we've met. It is
Yes.
100% that makes or breaks or changes what our opinions are on anything. And it's the people where we stay, the restaurants we eat at, whatever interactions we've had. It's all these people and these experiences. And just like I told the woman in my community, go have adventures. How
Yeah.
do you know yourself until you jump off a cliff, right? I mean, not
Yeah.
literally, but yeah, sure, go rappelling. How do you know what you're really made of until
Yeah.
you go backpack the Paiute Trail on four-wheelers? How do you know, right?
Yeah.
And so we see the and a lot of people are nervous to do those things. A lot of people are
Yes.
nervous, like, where do I even start? I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know where to begin. And so M42 Adventures is basically, we're going to host these adventures, kind of like
That
retreats,
is
but not. I mean,
perfect. That is
host these
perfect.
adventures where you
Yeah.
have guides who have done
Yes.
these things already. And so we hire professional horse trainers or people who own horses to do the horseback riding. We hire professional. So it's basically,
So you take all the friction out of it. It's perfect.
yes, you take all the
Yeah.
fear out of
And the
the,
fear.
but what
Yes.
if I set this up wrong, or what if it
Yeah.
doesn't work out,
Or I
or,
don't know
and
enough, or
actually
I'm scared
having a
to do it on my own.
human that you
Yeah.
have a contact to,
Yeah.
rather than, I just bought this online. Is this actually a real thing? Or did I just show up and I've bought a ticket? It's not really even a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and that's kind of it's gone into hibernation a little since we went on our trip this last year, but it'll be back. It'll be back. But
It's
yeah,
true
so
though.
I agree. I
If I
agree.
think about I went to Italy by myself for 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and whilst I loved being in Italy and I met a load of people, there was always this little piece of nervousness in
Mhm.
me about traveling on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for a woman, you just need to make sure that you're safe and doing all, and people know where you are and all the things. But
Right.
that would be amazing. I think the stuff has changed so much. People have taken all the friction out of it. You can go and you can jump on Google and you can find, you know, things that are set up so that if you're a single person or you want to go on an adventure, you can find other people to do it with. Like
Yeah.
that's the beauty, I think, now. Whereas back then there was none of that, you know?
Oh my
So I
gosh.
would say lots of adventures.
Yeah, even just 2017 when we left for the first time, Europe was our first go,
Yeah.
and we went to flew into Paris and then went up to Normandy. But so we did 3 months in Europe,
Yep.
and even just in 2017, which doesn't sound like that long ago,
Yeah.
nobody was doing this. Like, I
Yes.
remember my husband went to a travel agent and said, "Where would you even start with this?" And she said, "Now, what are you doing?" And he says, "I'm going for the next 6 to 12 months, starting in Europe. I need to book 3 months in Europe." And she's like,
Why?
"Like one place in Europe? I can book one place," you know?
Oh,
And so having that someone else is able to guide you and give you and it is social media, but
and now
I
it's so much
think
easier. We went to Canada last year, and did a beautiful road trip for 2
Mhm,
weeks, and my husband is the organizer, so that was perfect.
mhm.
And we had someone, and we went to New York for a couple of days. I had been to New York for work, and Evie and Mark hadn't been. And we were able to find someone to put an itinerary together for us for the 4 days. Like,
Love it.
you couldn't do that
Mhm.
10 years ago. There was no
No.
such thing, right? And I
What
mean,
about GPS alone?
right. I know.
Like
It
the
blows my
paper map,
mind.
like,
Yeah. I can't ever read those things. I cannot. I can't even read
oh
the
my
street
gosh,
directory.
I
So
wouldn't
I'm,
even
you know.
know. Even going before Google Lens, and I used to have to read, like, I'd have to Google the manual of the washing machine and try to figure out in French or Italian or whatever country I was in. Okay, Google that and then look up the word in English and try to figure out how could
Wow.
you do washing?
Yes.
And that was
That's
in,
true.
but now
Yeah.
Google Lens comes out a couple years ago, and I hold it up to the machine and it tells me, and I'm like, that
Thank you.
I've
That
just
does
been
blow your
so
mind.
overcomplicated for the last 5 years of my life, and everybody before me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good. I love it so much. So what would you say, because we've talked a lot about women not feeling worthy, quote unquote, right? Not feeling
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
worth in doing this kind of thing, this any kind of the work, honestly. But
Yes.
what
Yeah.
is it? Where's the foundation for you in coaching women to figuring out that it's already there?
Yeah, I know. It's almost like you don't have to figure that bit out. You just have to tap into it.
Yeah, like do
So
the thing, kind of fake it till you make it.
let's fake it till you make it, and just not like, if you asked yourself some really honest questions and you did some journaling and you dropped a few whys, the whole drop 7 whys,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
try, and you got to do the work. Like, there's work to be done. And, like, where does that come from? Because there'll be some story that they're telling themselves about
Mm-hmm.
why they're
Yeah.
not worthy, right? And so, how do you unpack that in a way that feels safe and that they can actually go, oh, so if that's how I feel, if that's my deep seated belief, what needs to shift in order to make me feel worthy, or make me tap into my worthiness? Or what would a worthy woman do?
Oh,
I love
yeah.
asking
Mm-hmm.
myself that question. Like, if I thought I was worthy, what would I do? Oh, I would go do this. Excellent. And I actually find that when women are paired up in a safe environment, they can get there a little bit quicker, because it's so much easier to see the worth in someone else than yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
You know? Yeah, I can have a
Yeah.
conversation with someone and go, oh, la 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 la, and someone goes, really? That's how you see me? And so there's some work that needs to be done deep inside, some questions that you need to ask yourself. And I don't think it's like you do this every single day. I think there's like a point in life where you're like, I'm sick of this conversation, you know. I'm sick of this thought,
You're
and I got to
boring.
do
I'm
the
over
work.
it.
Yeah, yeah, it's boring. I'm over it. And
That's
so
when you've moved on. That's when you
yeah,
believe it, because you're sick of the conversation.
that's right.
I think it.
Sometimes we get sick of the conversation, but we get stuck in the conversation. And
Yeah.
so, if you get sick of the conversation, don't get stuck. Just like work out how you're going to move forward. And I think that's the work. That's the work that we always need to do. And I also think that the question comes up time and again, depending on what's happening in your life, right? So if you've been single for all this time and then you get married, okay, we might need to do some more work on ourselves. If we now have kids, we might need to do some more work on ourselves. If we've always been the person who leaves themselves till last, and make sure that everyone is good, make sure that there's food on the table, is the last person to eat, all the things that, mums do,
Right.
then I think we kind of almost got to go back to a meeting point with ourselves and go, okay, hang on. Let's just go back a little minute and let's look at what's actually happening now. I think also people tie self-worth to things that are unhelpful. I see a lot of women tie self-worth to their revenue, for instance. Oh,
Yeah.
if I don't hit that revenue, I'm not worthy. That is so not true. Let's
Right.
debunk that myth. Worth and revenue, two really different things. You can be fully worthy and your business be doing so well. And you can also be fully worthy and your business not be doing so well. Those
Right.
two things don't go hand in hand.
Right. 100%.
Mm.
Agree. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it so much. Okay, we are going to move into, are you ready for rapid fire?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you know
Rapid
what's
fire.
so funny about this? The last rapid fire I did was actually my friend from New Zealand. So
Oh,
I know I haven't done a rapid fire for anybody this hemisphere.
You just save it for your Australian
I
and New
just save
Zealand
it for
friends.
you guys. You're just the funnest.
Love that.
All right. So this is going to be gold. Okay. Biggest main character energy habit. What is your biggest main character energy habit?
Well, I get told a lot that I am like Poppy from Trolls. Do you know who Poppy is?
Of course. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely love Puppy.
And she comes with a outstanding self-belief and optimism. Like she struts on stage. My clients tell me that I'm Poppy from Trolls. So there you go.
What an incredible compliment.
Yeah,
I think
I know.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing women need to stop apologizing for. Oh, only one. One thing
Yeah.
women need to stop apologizing for.
Being busy. They need to stop being busy and stop apologizing for not being busy.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Right.
interesting how you said it, because being busy, stop apologizing for being busy. First of all, is you're busy doing a thing? Is it getting things done? Is the busy actually productive? If it
Mm-hmm.
is,
Two
good for
different
you.
things. Yeah.
Good for you. Get that stuff done.
Yeah.
But being busy for the sake of being busy, I said it's one of those things that you start noticing when you start being very mindful of
Yes.
your worth is not tied to your to-do list. And when
Yeah.
you walk up to a friend, ladies, anybody listening, notice the next time you walk up to someone and say, "How are you?"
Oh, busy is
And
not an
instead
answer.
of saying, but they prattle off their to-do list to you.
Yes.
Well, I've
Yes.
just done this. I've just done this. I've just done this. It's like they're trying to, and they do it to their husbands too. I know for a fact they're doing it to their husbands because they have to prove
Yeah.
to their husbands why they're allowed to be staying home with their kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like I have to
Yes.
prove that I'm doing enough
How
in the
busy I
house.
am.
Or
Yeah.
I have to jump up because he just walked in the door. I'm doing dishes. I'm not watching Netflix. Like
a little less human doing, a little more human being, like,
oh yeah, I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Coffee
Yeah.
order.
Or almond latte.
Yum, yum,
Yeah.
yum.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about Australian culture?
We're pretty happy.
You are.
I know, right? We're pretty happy. We're pretty happy people. We're very laid back, I would
Yeah.
say, and we're pretty happy. Yeah, I like that.
It's true. I agree with that. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, I'm going to add this to it because it was funny.
Yeah.
We asked so many people this time on our trip because
Yeah.
when we go places, we like to have, like, my favorite thing to do is the cultural drink, right? Like whatever
Right.
it is culturally,
Yes.
what's your drink? And then food, right? Food.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
is Australia's cultural dish? Because you're a melting pot. So what is
We are.
Australia's? And I'm going to die if you say what we've been told.
What is Australia's culture? That is so hard. Do you know what? I actually don't know. What would I say is Australia's? I mean, I can
Just say
claim
what's on the tip of
Australia's
your tongue.
Tim Tams is the snack
Oh,
that
I
I'm
love Tim
thinking.
Tams. The white ones. They're my
Oh,
favorite.
but that's not really a
No,
meal. No.
no.
What would you say is this? What did
Well,
they tell
so
you?
that's what's funny. But what they told us was chicken parma.
Oh, a palmy.
And I
Come on.
died
That's
laughing.
so bogan.
I loved it. I died laughing, and I'm like, isn't that technically Italian?
Yes, it is. Well, yes. But I suppose that's the most commonly eaten food in a pub setting.
Yes,
A
yes.
chicken palmy.
We
But is
finally,
that cultural?
finally.
I don't know if that's
No, I don't know, but we asked a lot of people, and it came up multiple times, and we just laughed. We just thought it was so funny. Because for me,
palmy.
a meat pie. For me, a meat pie is, I
It's
think
Australian.
of Australia. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it is New Zealand as well, but Australia is, for me, meat pies.
Oh, that's funny. That's. I
And
mean, some
those
people
one
say
cookies that have the pink on them with the coconut, with the parrot on the cookie bag.
cocoa ice
Whatever those.
Vovos.
Yes.
Ice Vovos.
The one with the parrot on the back. They're my favorite. I buy like a bag at every stay we stay at. It's like my
Have you tried a
favorite.
Kingston? You need to try a Kingston. Oh,
I
they're
don't know.
divine. Make sure you
I'm
jot
sure
that
I
down.
would
They're
love
like a
it.
little brown cookie with a little melting thing in the middle. They're delicious. Kingstons.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss
Yeah.
that? Okay, next
Yeah.
trip.
Okay.
All right, a belief that changed your life.
A belief that changed my life. Oh, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Belief that changed my life. I would say, what is the belief that changed my life? If I want it badly enough, it's mine.
I love that. I was going to say you said one to me earlier in this episode. You said I deserve it. Whatever it is that my life is meant to be, I'm getting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, what makes a woman magnetic?
Her energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So
You
good.
can you know a woman, you know how magnetized you are to that woman the moment she enters the room. You don't even have to say anything. It's just like she brings the energy.
So good. Agree. Current obsession.
Oh, current obsession. It's very boring, but I'm teaching myself to run again.
Oh, it's not boring. I have a woman in my community that's been her big thing the last couple years, and she's running marathons now. And so, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to do that much. I just want to do like 30 minutes straight, you know.
Oh, bless your heart. I go walking now, and I'm actually starting to feel like I'm getting a teensy bit of the runner high just from walking even. Like I'm liking walking outside more than going to the gym, whereas I used to be a snob about it. And I'm like, walking, what's walking even going to do for me? You know, I used to send
funny.
Marcos to my friend, and I'm like, what am I even doing? This is such a waste of time. I'm such a, like when I was recovering from my C-sections or something, you know, I was, what is walking even going to do for me? I should be at the gym, you know, and now I'm like, oh, I'd rather just go walking. And I've started sprinting up the little whoops. And I'm like, I think this is what they talk about, that runner's high.
Yeah. I love that runner's high. I mean, you know, I already do 20,000 steps a day. It's a lot. You like have to walk for like 2 hours to get that. But yeah, I do like it. I love walking because in silence, because it just helps your mind process the day or process whatever's happening. And I kind of pop it in between coaching sessions to release some of the energy, you know?
It's one of the reasons I love Melbourne so much. So actually, a big question we get is, where's your favorite place to go? I mean, we've been to 88 countries, right? So where's our favorite?
Where is your favorite?
It's too hard of a question because, I mean, what season? What are you looking for? Food, right? So it's a hard question. But when asked where I would actually live, I've only ever said Melbourne.
Really?
Yeah.
Even I'd probably live in.
Yes, I'd probably live in somewhere in France or Italy. I mean, I'm sure I would live somewhere else and be great. But it was so funny the first time we went there. I was like, I would live here. It's so walkable. It's so
It is.
walkable and it's so
That is true.
friendly and it's got so much
Yeah.
culture and it feels like it's a big city, but it doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It feels
Yes.
like you have everything a big city should have, like the trolleys and the culture and the food and all these wonderful things,
Yeah.
but yet it's all walkable, like when you're
Yes.
downtown right there. I know you
Yes.
guys think of Melbourne as being like clear out into your suburbs, and I'm like, that's not Melbourne. That's a whole different place. That's not the same city.
You mean Melbourne Metro?
Yes, yes. I mean metro.
Yes.
My friends live out, like out in the suburbs, and I'm like, I came to your house. This is not Melbourne. They're like, it is. It is.
I love that. I love that.
So, okay, I love your obsession. That's not boring. That's great. One thing you'd tell your younger self.
Oh, start earlier. Just
Mm,
start everything earlier.
everything. Just go.
Yes.
What does living like her now mean to you right now?
It means looking opportunity in the eye and just going, yep, I want that, and doing something with it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Finish this sentence. Women become unstoppable when they
Start believing in themselves.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, isn't that it?
That's a good one. All right,
Yeah.
this isn't a rapid fire, but if you could sit down with every woman listening today and give her one loving but honest queen energy pep talk about her life right now, what would you say?
Think about what is happening to you and think about why it's happening to you. And if there's something that you don't like, you have the power to change that.
So good. So good and so true. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's my one wish for all of the women listening, that if they could just really, really, really harness what you just said and believe it with
Yes.
fierceness. Just
Yes.
slap it on your mirror so you brush your teeth and read it every day.
Yes.
That kind
Do
of
your affirmation.
fierceness.
Wonder Woman stance,
Yes,
Oh,
Wonder
I've got
Woman
to-
stance, put on your pink jacket.
Yep. Get with the program.
Thank you so much, Emma. This has been so fun. I knew it would be such a fun conversation. I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for waking up early and making this a priority for us, because it was really wonderful. And it just made me miss Australia so much again.
Oh, and come see us. Come see us. All right, I'm gonna have to try and hunt down the Melbourne cultural equivalent of food. And when you come see us, I'll take you there. How's that?
Yes. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Because that's the thing. You guys are such a melting pot. One of our favorite things to do, honestly, this sounds so weird, is go to the mall, because your food courts are amazing. They're so good. You can get this food, you can get that food. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had all the food in the wonderful little nooks and crannies too, like Indian, mostly it's usually Indian or something delicious, or ramen or something. So that's the thing. You guys have all of these different cultures that have all come there so beautifully and wonderfully that I don't know that, I mean, good luck finding your Australian food.
I don't. I think I'm going to struggle. I am going to take you for dumplings, though. I've got the best dumplings place.
I will let you do that.
Yeah.
I will let you do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a blast.
Emma. I really appreciate it.